Hello, welcome back to my channel. I had a nap earlier, so now I've ruined my evening. And before anyone in the comment section asks, this says Bears, Beats and Battlestar Galactica. So Shane Dawson's little house of cards is falling. He's lost his #1 fan, Trisha Paytas. Who could have ever seen this coming? Look, it's going to happen. Jeffrey and Shane are going to have a fallout and it's going to be marvellous. Not for them, I mean for the rest of us, because it'll probably be funny. So, I've been taking notes, watching the videos over the course of the past few days as this situation unfurled, and I had to decompress actually. I had to take a little break from it because I find Trisha's position in this actually, unfortunately, relatable in being friends with manipulative people. So I had to work out a few issues there. But first, this video is being sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Raid Shadow Legends has absolutely everything that you could possibly want from a mobile and desktop game. Caught in the middle of an epic struggle that's raged for thousands of years. Predating mobile technology, is there anything Raid Shadow Legends can't do? You'll fight noble kings and dark wizards. You'll uncover prophecies, curses, betrayals, and meet more than 12, I've never heard of such a number, 12 warring factions. This game brings back everything I remember about my childhood. All those times that I uncovered prophecies and curses and fought noble kings. It's exactly like growing up in southwest England. So to show you how good this gameplay is, let's fight in the arena right now. Let's do this together. Let's hold hands and everything. I am on the edge of my seat. I can't remember the last time I had this much fun, if I've ever had this much fun. Raid Shadow Legends is the best thing that's ever happened to me. Oh wait, how am I losing? They're at a low level, how am I losing? What? This isn't going how I wanted it to go at all. Well, that didn't go as expected, but as you can see, Raid Shadow Legends will always keep you surprised. It exceeds your expectations every time. On the edge of my seat with all these twists and turns. What a plot twist. So, what's new in Raid? Last month, Raid just released their biggest ever update. The main event here is the Doom Tower. It's a giant tower with 120 floors, a bunch of secret challenge rooms, and 12 seriously badass bosses to take on. I've been waiting for this for a long time, and I just can't wait to dive in. There's never been a better time to start playing, and here's the best part. The Raid team are giving away a bunch of new free goodies, plus a super special champion to help get everyone started in the tower, Bulwark. He's absolutely awesome in Clan Boss, and he's going to be a huge help in the tower against those bosses. If you want to get a huge head start in Raid, all you have to do is hit the link in the description. If you're a new player, you'll get your free Void Champion Bulwark, 50 gems, an XP booster, some Angel refills, and even an Ancient Shard as soon as you get in a game. All this treasure will be waiting for you here. So again, a big thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get on with it. All this started because this person called Hair by J, who is friends with Jeffree Star. Jeffrey's pretending that he's fired him. Sure, I believe you, Jeff. Thousands wouldn't. Hair by J went on his Instagram live. This random person, I've never heard of them, right? And I'm clued in to this because I kind of have to be to make these kind of videos, not through personal choice. I'm kidding. If I didn't want to do this, then I'd just, I don't know, do some painting videos. Should I do painting videos? I feel like I should do some drawing, like learn how to draw manga, like anime style. I feel like that could be a good direction to take this. Anyway, so this man, Hair by J, went on his Instagram live to just yell and swear at Trisha Paytas. Seemingly unprovoked. From what I saw, I don't know why he woke up that day feeling the need to shout about Trisha Paytas on his Instagram live in front of a whopping audience of about 200 people. So he really had some grievances he wanted to air. And I've written down a few of the things that he said, because I most likely won't show the video itself. He says at one point, they are fucking lucky that Jeffree Star is a nice person. What alternate reality do these people live in? Because I would love to take a vacation there, kind of low-key sick of this reality at the moment. So if I could just quantum leap to bizarro land where Jeffree is a nice person and Shane is an empath. Great, fantastic. I need some positive energy in my life. He also calls Trisha boring and negative. I'm going to have to show some of the footage, probably around here or whatever, because I need people to see how there's a weird phenomenon with some people where their eyes are devoid of something like light, awareness, spark of intelligence. You know how some people's eyes have life in them? Like my eyes, really expressive. I'm alive in this way. And some people are just so like dead behind, like almost glazed over, like a Krispy Kreme donut. What's it called? Like dull, cow-eyed stare. That's probably used in some books, innit? But sometimes you can. I'm not being religious because I'm not religious, but sometimes there is something like almost a soul. Well, the eyes are the window to the soul, right? But there's a something when you look at someone's eyes. But some people don't have that at all. Dead behind the eyes. Reanimated corpses. Jeffree Star 100% has that. His smile never ever reaches his eyes. They're just the depths of hell. You could really fall into them, fall into the abyss if you look at Jeffree's eyes. And this guy, Hair by Jay, absolutely same deal. I don't know what I'm talking about. He goes on about her skin. He's incredibly aggressive. I don't know what Trisha did to warrant this level of aggression. I guess now we'll never know. But he also makes fun of her being suicidal and keeps calling her a walrus. Like, you're not aware that it's 2021 and that kind of stuff doesn't really go over well on the internet anymore. You could do that about 15 years ago, but nowadays, not so much. Jay also seems to be under the impression that if someone buys a lot of things for you, like Jeffree paying for the tickets, the plane tickets, Jeffree paying for the hotel or whatever, you need to put up with them bullying you. You should be thankful, in fact, if they bully you, because they buy you things. So Trisha put up her video called Why I'm Scared of Jeffree and Hair by Jay, where she was reacting to what Hair by Jay was saying, and she's clearly really distressed. Trisha got invited to a Las Vegas trip, and this Hair by Jay person was there as well. And it seems that Jeffree only invited Trisha so they could make fun of her and bully her. She bought a Balenciaga? What? How do you pronounce it? Balenciaga. I'm sorry, I don't speak rich. She bought a Balenciaga hoodie and they threw it away. Jeffree gave her camera away to Rich Lux for some reason. This Hair by Jay guy, at one point in his little run, he says that Trisha has a disfigured ass pussy and disfigured ass titties. And even when I saw that for the first time, I said, Jesus Christ, like, tell her how you really feel. Trisha claims that all the stuff that Jeffree paid for, she didn't ask for him to pay for it. And in fact, she offered to pay money back or whatever. But Jeffree said no, because Jeffree only likes doing nice things so he can beat you over the head with it later on. Which is why if Shane and Jeffree fall out, it's not going to be because of Shane growing a backbone. It's going to be because of Jeffree finally having enough of Shane. Shane owes him now. Jeffree made Shane millions, and he probably doesn't let Shane forget that ever. Trisha says in this video that she told Shane and Ryland about this bullying, about this Las Vegas trip, and then this Hair by Jay guy also doxed her number and business information on the stream. In Las Vegas, they would do things like if she was trying to reach for some food, they'd slap her hand away, they would body shame her, they would skin shame her skin, they would drug shame her even though she's sober. They would text her in the morning, like early hours, 2 a.m. or whatever, saying, oh, we're in the casino, come hang out, and then she'd go downstairs and none of them would be there. They also made fun of her for renting her house. Like, I'm sorry, Jeff, there's a housing crisis going on? What a thing to make fun of. Shut up, Jeff. So after Trisha put this video up on YouTube, Jeffree tweeted, I have personally apologised to Trisha Paytas several times last year about Vegas and she never responded, which is her right. I respected it and what happened is between us. Don't drag me into new drama, not interested. What someone else says does not represent me. Trisha replied, if you didn't want to be involved in the drama, why is he speaking your name in the video on your behalf, confirming all the horrid shit you said about me? I have been cool, but he is speaking on your behalf multiple times in all his feeds. And then Jeffree said, you've ignored all my messages and texts for months, yet want to have an internet circus with an audience. No thank you, love you girl, you can call me or text me or anytime. Heart. That's so passive aggressive. Like when you say no, love heart. You know what I mean? Love you, girl. I mean, you clearly don't. Wait, when did you love her? Was it when you were all bullying her? Jeffrey is just a mean girl at high school, and Shane Dawson is finally getting to live out his fantasy of being friends with the mean girls at high school so they aren't mean to him. Sorry, but it's true. And it's also so lame. You can tell that these people never outgrew the high school mentality. And I hate that when I talk about them, I have to say the words high school because they're American. It's secondary school. High school. What does that even mean? So after all this kicked off, Jeffrey tweeted, "Good morning to everyone except the guy that used to do my hair. I always hold the people around me accountable. I know it's hard for some people to believe, but I'm a grown-ass man and 2021 will be only full of good energy." Jeffrey doesn't even hold himself accountable. How am I going to believe that he's holding anyone else accountable? And why has accountability and accountable become a new buzzword with these people? Tana Mojo, I'm holding myself accountable than going out to loads of parties during a tech. Even people on the other side of the coin, commentary channels that make these kind of videos. Oh, we're holding these people. No, I'm sure Jeffree Star really doesn't care that people are making videos about him. I'm not holding anyone accountable. Once a journalist emailed me about some stuff saying, your drama channel holding creators accountable. It's like I can barely hold myself accountable, right? I'm not here to hold anyone else accountable. I'm here to laugh at the misfortune of multi-millionaires. It's such a buzzword that it's going to lose all meaning. That's my prediction for 2021. So after all this, Trisha then made a video called I Just Want to Move On. And she talks about Shane and Ryland. She said that Shane would say to her how he's scared of Jeffrey. But whenever Trisha, got upset to the point of wanting to make a video about Jeffrey and his behavior, Shane would dissuade her from it. Trisha is also upset that on one hand, Ryland and Shane tell her one thing, and on the other hand, Ryland has Jeffrey on his podcast called The Sip. Listen, it's LA. Friendships don't mean anything. Everything is a business transaction. Every interaction you have, even you just talking to the barista at Starbucks, could be a potential business interaction in LA. There's something in the water. No offense to any of my viewers who might live in LA and live, rational lives. Apparently Shane would say to Trisha, when scandal would go down or whatever, how he needs to distance himself from Jeffrey. He's scared of Jeffrey. And then he flipped it at some point too. But Jeffrey's been the only one that's loyal to me. What is this bizarro world that these people, when, again, I need a holiday, I need a vacation to this weird upside down land. Like, Shane Dawson, what are you smoking? What have you been smoking? How can't you see that Trisha Paytas has been the most loyal? I've even mentioned it in previous videos, saying you can say what we want about Trisha Paytas, but she knows loyalty. She's been loyal to a fault about Shane Dawson, refusing to even entertain speaking to people who have negative opinions of him. Even Tana Mojo refused to stand up for Shane publicly, distance herself. When Keemstar said, Tana, you've been awfully quiet about Shane being cancelled, and Tana tried to flip it to, oh, but there's so many other problems going on in the world. It's like Jeffree Star, it was wrong. In his apology video halfway through, being like, but guys, Black Lives Matter. There's so many other things going on right now that we need to focus on instead of my behaviour on the gold couch. Remember? Same type of energy, Tana Mojo being like, oh, but, right? It says so fucking much that Tana Mojo, of all people, of everyone on YouTube, looked at Shane and went, wow, hanging out with him would be really bad for my image right now. But Trisha was there for Shane the whole time. See where I'm going with this? Misplaced loyalty, sure, but she's realised that now. Good for her. But loyalty nonetheless, when everyone was... Shane saved Tana Mojo's career. Tana Mojo, nope. Don't worry about that. Oh, everything that's going on right now, there's a pandemic, goes out to parties. So full of these people, are so full of shit. I love it. I love it. YouTube is like reality TV. It's so good. Trisha in her video confirms that she blocked Ryland and Shane for her mental health. Good for her. So on Ryland's podcast called The Sip, he tried to address the situation, but ended up doing a galaxy brain move where he deactivated the comment section and deactivated the like to dislike ratio bar. So what this did is it caused people to, because they couldn't have their say on that video, they went to the Jeffree Star episode to air their grievances. And there was a lot of them. I looked at it before he disabled that comment section too. And all the top comments were, saying how disgusted they were, and it was getting a lot of dislikes. So he deactivated that, and he deactivated the likes dislike ratio bar on that video as well. This is not a pro gamer move, Ryland. You're not being slick. And I'll tell you why. This is constructive criticism. This is a hint for you. This is just stupidity. Influencers need to realize that it's best just to leave the comment section up. If you have a video that's getting backlash, just do it there so people have that compartmentalized, isolated spot to where they air their grievances, say what they have to say. As soon as you deactivate that, as you saw, people flocked over to a different video. And if you disable that, the next video you put up is going to have people, because they don't have their space because you're actively trying to censor it. It's like a Barbra Streisand effect. People are just going to try to do it more. So then what are you left with? What's the alternative? Are you just going to end up disabling all the comments across all of your episodes? Because if you keep doing it to certain episodes, it's just going to spread to the other episodes. It's better to just leave it all up. If you think you're that right, so right that you don't want to hear it from anyone else, you don't want to consider their opinion at all, you don't want to consider the fact that you might be a little bit wrong in this scenario, leave the comment section up and then never, ever, ever read the comments. That is the easiest way of going about it. If you're that sure that you're right, that's what I do all of the time because I'm right about everything.
I guess the first thing we have to address is, and I hate to do this because Trish's friendship means more to me than a headlining story on this podcast. I hate that we're a podcast that does hot topics, and I've somehow become a hot topic that I...
Oh my God, Ryland is such a hot topic, you guys. Oh my God. I think he's secretly loving it a little bit, but that's just me.
I'm confused. I was taken back a little bit, and I understand, like, she's had drama with Jeffrey and Hair by Jay, Hair by Jay obviously said horrific things that I don't stand by, I don't support. Obviously, I support Trisha over Hair by Jay. Like,
Ryland basically says that Trisha had drama with Hair by Jay and with Jeffree Star. And listen, drama is drama. We talk about a lot of drama on this channel, but it's just plain bullying to invite someone to a different city so you can rip the piss out of them, make fun of them, make them feel so small and insignificant, bring up all of their insecurities, tell them, oh, we're going for dinner and then, or going to the casino, whatever it was, and then not being there, it's just bullying. Adults can bully other adults too. It happens quite a lot. And this is just bullying behavior. So Ryland's such a great friend to Trisha by invalidating her experience, but okay, what do I know?
I guess at the end of the day, I truly wish she would have come to me as a friend if she was hurting like the way that she is and talked it out with me.
He says that, but apparently Trisha did tell Shane and Ryland several times about how Jeffrey had been acting, so...
And I wish that it wouldn't have played out on the internet like this. I just am really, honestly confused.
Ryland keeps trying to act like he's so confused by Trisha, as if Trisha doesn't tell the whole world how she's feeling on most days. So I don't believe that she never spoke to Shane and Ryland. It's not a secret that Trisha and Jeffrey don't get on. It's been known for months and months and months. Trisha will vaguely allude to being scared of Jeffree Star, and then she'll sort of take it back a little bit, in the way that when people are a bit scared of someone, they tend to do. This isn't... Ryland, why are you lying to me? I feel so betrayed right now.
So maybe it's hard for her to ask me to cut him off, but at the same time, I can't read someone's mind. And I feel like as an adult, I have two other adult friends that got in an altercation a year ago. And maybe it is my fault for never having asked her where she truly stands or wants me to stand. I just, I felt as though that was their lane.
Ryland keeps maintaining that Trisha never spoke to him about any of this. And I just don't believe that. You could say what you want about Trisha Paytas, but she is someone that wears her heart on her sleeve and isn't afraid of crying on her kitchen floor about whatever that week, that month, in front of millions of people. There's no way she didn't... And maybe if she only ever mentioned it to Shane, Shane's going to talk to Ryland. They live together. They're engaged. They interact. But I do believe there's no way that she didn't even bring it up once to Shane or Ryland. I just don't believe that. In fact, I believe that as they were close friends of hers, she probably told them more stuff in private than she'd be comfortable saying publicly. That's kind of how friendships work, I guess. Also, he keeps acting like, oh, but she never told us to drop Jeffrey, and oh, I'm not a mind reader. Listen, I wouldn't dictate to others how they should manage their personal relationships or friendships or whatever. But all I can say for myself is, if I had a friend, right, maybe I've known for a few years, who was bullying and harassing my best friend of a decade, my best friend wouldn't need me, or my closer friend wouldn't need to tell me to drop that person. I just would. We aren't talking about two friends just having a fight and you not wanting to pick a side because maybe the situation will resolve itself, or maybe the situation doesn't require. Most situations do not require someone to actively take a side, because usually people work things out. But that's like if two people have a fight, not if one person is bullying another person. So what does that say about you, that you would rather not defend your friend who's being bullied just to not get on the... It's so juvenile in high school. Not Trisha's not. In this situation, she's not being juvenile or high school. She's very valid in the way she's feeling and the way that she's behaving. But grow a backbone. Ryland's little bit addressing the situation comes across as 5 minutes of him just gaslighting Trisha. Oh, I'm not a mind reader. Like, no one's asking you to be a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader, but I can read the situation pretty well. Shut up. Will I get demonetized for telling another YouTuber to shut up? Like, no one... Oh, God. Is that straw manning? I've got a thing about saying, calling things a straw man argument recently. Is he straw manning her a little bit by exaggerating? I'm not a mind reader. No one's fucking expecting you to be a mind reader. This isn't a Stephen King novel. I've been reading a Stephen King novel called The Institute recently, and it's pretty good, but I'm pretty sure I had the exact same idea 3 years ago. So maybe Stephen King is the real mind reader all along. Anyway, we're going to talk about it more in a minute, because Trisha uploaded a video in response to that. And she was really rightfully angry. And when I first watched this, I was like, Ryland's being, it's not great. But saying the words out loud, I'm kind of feeling them. You know how you can think things in your head and it's like, okay, but as soon as you start saying it out loud, it's like, and you start feeling it. I'm not a mind reader. I'm mad for Trisha over that. If one of my... No one would talk to me that way. I'm actually sitting here thinking it over and over in my head. I'm not a mind reader. I'm not a mind reader. Maybe I'm taking it too far, but I find that so disrespectful. I'm not a mind reader. Trisha Paytas doesn't require anyone to be a mind reader. A thought comes into her head and she just fucking says it, or she just like does the thing. Trisha also made several TikToks about this, really popped off, and I'm not going to put any of them up because copyright claims. People are copyright claiming their TikToks now. That's a thing. Tana Mojo, I'm looking at you. Will I get copyright claimed for even saying that in this video? Who fucking knows? But one thing I did find interesting was she said that Jeffrey was never nice to Morgan. So it's like Jeffrey and his cronies, his little gang, bully one of your supposed close friends, Trish Paytas, but he's also not nice to your own little sister. Bro, I know he made you like millions of dollars. But there's got to be a line, surely. I would rather miss out on $1 million, make $1 million myself, than have Jeffrey hold it over my head for the rest of my life. Yeah. So anyway, after all of that, Trisha uploaded a video called Shane and Ryland are literal scum of the earth because Trisha woke up choosing violence that day. Trisha reveals that Shane would slag off Andrew, that cameraman, Drew, and Garrett. I wonder what kind of things Shane was slagging off. Do you reckon he slagged off that hyena cackle of Andrew's that goes off every 2 seconds at things that aren't even remotely considered funny? No, but obviously, yes, it's bad that he's slagging off like literally his only friends, and no wonder they aren't friends with him anymore. I just want to know what he would have... Anyway. So apparently Shane didn't check up on Trisha when she was upset by the Hair by Jay live stream. Didn't even check on her, even though it was really, really vile stuff. But as soon as Trisha starts saying in her videos about mentioning to Shane and Ryland how, she told them about Jeffrey's behavior. He then contacted her and was using his anxiety as like a manipulative weapon, being like, oh, this is making me anxious. I can't sleep. It's not about you entirely for once, but okay, go off, Shane. Trisha repeatedly says in these videos that Shane and Ryland sold their soul to the devil, and that they and Jeffrey are either on some money shit or some actual devil shit. Trisha Paytas, can you please confirm to me whether Jeffree Star is actually in the Illuminati? Blink twice if he is. Shane calls Trisha a pathological liar behind her back, and also apparently is the one that told Gabby Hanna that Trisha has herpes, even though she didn't have herpes. So, he's been a really good best mate there, hasn't he? And apparently Shane fed Trisha loads of crap about James Charles, which is one of the reasons why she would pop off so badly on the Frenemies podcast about James Charles. It makes sense when you connect the dots.
You know what I mean? And that's the same thing I just saw with Ryland. It's like, Ryland, nobody knows who you are. Nobody cares. In fact, I never really cared, if I'm being completely honest. I've always thought he leached off Shane. Point blank period.
Trisha fully says that she thinks Ryland leeches off Shane, and it's brilliant because I think it's what a lot of people think, but no one said until now. Because listen, I've watched some of Ryland's content, and like, it's okay, it's fine. Is it millions of followers worthy? Jury's out there. Me, not even at 500,000, besmirching the name of someone who has millions of followers, but I also didn't date Shane Dawson. I feel like that's really mean and bitchy, but at the same time, I'm not a mind reader.
And you know what? And the internet always had this bad image of me, and they still do. A lot. I see all the comments. We don't really like Trish, but this is bullying, and I appreciate that. Hey, I'll take it. You know what I mean? Like, if people can at least recognize that, like, this shit is like fucked up. Like, hey, that's cool. I'll take it.
You know what? I've maybe done about a few videos on Trisha, and they were all, I think the majority of them were over a year ago. And then I stopped even really mentioning her that much, unless, well, the Charlie D'Amelio thing, that was different because I disagreed with her. And I thought she was going way too hard on literal teenagers and children. And I thought she was injecting herself in that situation to seem rational on TikTok. And I still stand by that. But besides that, I made a conscious choice to stop really mentioning her, because I could have done a video on the Frenemies podcast, but I didn't, because I think it's quite clear that she's not 100% mentally well. That's not an attack. I'm just, stating. I think she would agree. Like, she would agree that she has some mental health problems. So do I. There's what it is, like most people do. Yes, mental illnesses aren't excuses, but sometimes they can be explanations for people's behavior. Like, a lot of the times when I'm a bit dreamy and distant and I just don't care, I can't care about this, it's because the way my dissociative disorder has manifested itself within me is sometimes it's really hard for me to emotionally connect to situations or really see people's points of view from like an emotional standpoint sometimes, because my episodes of Unreality were so intense. For a while, it became quite hard for me to give a shit about things that are actually going on, because it's hard to care about things when nothing feels real. I need to do a video on it because it's a head fuck. I've worked through a lot of that, but there still is remnants of that sometimes, and it definitely comes out. Even when I'm arguing, like, with my friends, I can be arguing with someone and 5 minutes later, be like, oh, I don't care about this anymore. Nothing exists anyway. So it's not like an excuse, but it's an explanation for people's behavior sometimes. So bearing that in mind, when I realized that, because when I did videos on Trisha before, I think like it was never me sitting here calling her names or anything like that, because that's not really my style anymore anyway, because I've grown up. Didn't I just tell Jeffrey to shut up earlier in this video? It doesn't fucking count. He's like, he can deal with it. Like, I'm pretty sure most of the videos I've ever done on Trisha have been kind of jokey anyway, like her doing the Helena music video remake or the stuff about Keanu. I'm not sure. I don't know. I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Nothing probably exists anyway. And that's not to invalidate or diminish any of the communities that Trisha has pissed off. Rightfully so. Like, they're rightfully pissed off for the things that she's done. But I guess all I'm saying is, with Trisha, I find myself being a little bit more like, oh, leave her alone, really. I don't want to say anything about what's going on right now, because to me it's kind of apparent that she's not 100% well. Even the Frenemies podcast argument, because I saw all of that but I just didn't make a video on it, when she stormed out, it's very clear that she was lashing out and very distressed. You could see in that clip that this is someone who's not entirely okay. So in saying all of this, I don't dislike Trisha Paytas. There's very few people I do actually actively dislike, because it's hard to maintain that sort of energy, for starters, for people that you don't know and you're never really going to meet. It's difficult. Usually it ends up hurting you. I mean, there are people in my actual personal life who, I can name about 3 people in my head that I know and actively dislike. But when it comes to the internet, not, and in a way, when Trisha isn't trying to annoy different communities, there is something a little bit likable about her. I think all I'm trying to say here is I hope that Trisha gets better for herself. That's what I'm trying to say.
And he does his bullshit where he's like, the internet gives me anxiety, but he's stood up for tons of people that aren't his bestie. Tana during TanaCon, when his friend, this girlfriend of Ryland's, had a movie out at some festival, he tweeted about it. Doesn't tweet about my music videos, doesn't come to my show.
Trisha, I did a whole video about your Helena video, and I also commented asking to be in your emo band on the Sad Boy 2005 music video you just put up recently. So technically already I have been a better friend to you than Shane Dawson has ever been.
Shane's a coward. Shane is a coward. Point blank period. He's a coward. He can't take up ownership. He hides behind, I'm in therapy, I have issues, all stuff like that. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit. And once again, I'll end this, no ill will, because I really, really have no ill will.
Trisha, in this situation, I'm on your side, yeah? But saying you mean no ill will when the title of the video literally is Shane and Ryland are literal scum of the earth is a pro-gamer move. So to conclude this video, here are my final thoughts that sum up. Shane Dawson is an absolute fool. How could you lose your #1 fan? And it's not like it's just any person. It's Trisha Paytas of all people. Trisha Paytas, who will still bring up stuff that David Dobrik did a year or 2 ago. Still. Could you have made a worse enemy for yourself on YouTube, on this platform? Trisha is emotionally volatile. Let's say that. And she can't help herself. She talks like 1,000 miles a minute. She can't help herself. Things just come out. A thought comes into her head and then comes straight back out. So this is the person that you want to piss off, really. And as she's getting so much support, rightly so, she's only going to get more and more comfortable with spilling all the dirty details and secrets, because I'm sure there's still a bunch of stuff that she's not mentioned yet and probably is going to in a mukbang. So congratulations, Shane Dawson. You have massively played yourself. You're not going to have anyone left at this point. Who's going to be left? Jeffree Star. Good luck with that one. Anyway, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. Follow me on Instagram. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.